This is another Meta Talk.
For me, so much of my life is dictated by trying to help others be as passionate as what I am with their own personal health, which is sometimes quite difficult, but it's a challenge that I really love. I want to make my little talk here as interactive as possible, so I'm going to throw out some questions this evening and see how you go with answering those. First one is, does anyone here know who is or what country is the most obese country?
USA.
Per capita, Australia is now the most obese nation in the world. If you go by pure size, America first, US, then Mexico, then Australia. Yeah, but per capita, if you think the amount of people we've got in Australia compared to the US is a little bit different. But for me, that's a really alarming information, you know. The next question I'd like to throw out is, why do you think we have a nation that's so obese? Yeah. Too much good food, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, we are following pretty much what America does, you know, we're following their trends. You know, 28% of Australians at the moment are obese or are affected by obesity in their lives. If I break it down even more, 10.8 million people in Australia are classified as overweight or obese. So I think the last numbers, population in Australia was like just over 20 million, was it, I think? So that's over half of us Australians are obese or overweight, which for me is it's really, really sad. Next question, is there anything that we can do to help this situation?
Yes.
Good answer. That's right. That's right. There is something we can do. You know, not all of us are qualified to help people train or inspire people in that sort of field, but you know, we can start with ourselves. We can start with our kids, and let our influence in a small portion then go out from there. You know, one of the biggest things I think we lack as a nation is education with nutrition and education with exercise, and actually know ourselves what we can put in to actually help our health and fitness lifestyle, if that makes sense. If we take away the exercise and if we take away the nutrition, which is obviously massive influences with our health and fitness, I want to simplify it even more, and I want to talk purely about water. So this thing here is something that we probably don't think about a lot in our day-to-day life, because in our beautiful nation of Australia, it's so easy to come across this stuff here. You know, it's bottled, it's beautiful, it's marketed, you know, so well. But I mean, it's just something that we don't even think about. You turn the tap on and there it is, you know, which is something that we're so lucky and blessed to have. If I just break down really quickly the benefits of water, and there's so many benefits, but I just want to tell you just quickly a few. Drinking water helps maintain balance of body fluids. Water can help control calories, which is really important. Water helps energize muscles. Water helps keep the skin looking good. Water helps your kidneys, and water helps maintain a normal bowel function. Okay, that's interesting, isn't it? So our next question is, have you ever wondered how much water or how much of our body is consumed by water? Does anyone know that answer? 70%. Yeah. So 70% is pretty much right on. 70% of our body is water. And when we're born, actually, the percentage is up high. It's around 80%. In the first 5 years, the amount of water we hold as humans from birth decreases. So from a personal level, I've got a little boy who's almost 2. And every time I give him a water bottle, he just guzzles that thing like there's no tomorrow. And I just go, wow, man, this is awesome. This kid loves water. But you think about how active they are, and you know how much they're just non-stop all the time. They're getting that fluid back in because that's what they need. So basically, to break it down about how much water we need, for for male, like a grown male, we need approximately 3 litres. And there's a specific number between gender and size, obviously. So that's about 13 cups of water. So who used to think, oh yeah, 8? Yeah, it's almost doubled. For women, it's 2.2 litres, which is about 9 cups of water. So remember, we're not talking about food, we're not talking about exercise, just simplifying it and water, you know, which is such a huge part of our body without us even realising it. So going back to my little boy and then thinking, okay, what's going on in other nations? You know, obviously we hear all these stories about these disadvantaged nations and, you know, they don't have water, they don't have food. But if we simplify it and just go water, you know, what are these, you know, 2-year-old boys and girls overseas going through? When my little boy, I can just hand him a drink bottle, and even though almost 80% of his body is water, you know, he can have it so readily. My question is, like, what's happening with these kids and stuff overseas, you know? And so much of, I know I could talk about myself is, you know, if I didn't go out there and educate myself on what's happening overseas, it's so easy just to live in our little lives here because it's just so easy to grab water. So basically, I want to try and challenge you guys tonight about, you know, when we think about helping people overseas, a lot of times we think about giving money or giving time, which is cool. I'm sure, you know, but we can't make too much of a difference over there without giving money and those resources. But I think the first step that we need to take is educating ourselves about what's actually happening over there. So without that education, without actually knowing what's happening and where the shortages are over there, it's hard to take the next step. So if I was to leave you tonight with one thought is, you know, you can't be passionate without, well, it's hard to be passionate without having the education of what you need to be passionate about. So for me, you know, health and fitness is a huge passion. So I'll go out and readily try and resource and educate myself on what I need to do. So tonight I want to leave you with one thought, and that is really find something that you can be educated or you can self-educate to really make a difference out there and make that first step to be able to go, okay, I want to try and make a difference, let me find out more information about that. Cool. Thanks.
This has been another Metamorphic production.